Thank you so much for being here with me today. This actually wasn't the video I was intending to make this weekend. I want to do a room tour and show some of the stuff in my room. And also, the comforter on the bed and the pillows are great for scratching, so I think there will be some good sounds. But yesterday at Mass, this funny and kind of embarrassing thing happened, and I thought maybe it'd be fun to share that. See if anyone's had similar experiences, either in a ministry or as a congregant. And I really like when people play with sand, dirt, and do patterns. Sometimes people do Zen gardens. So I thought I'd try this, maybe do glass sounds. I like the high-pitched sounds. And I tell the story. I'm trying all kinds of new things today. This light is just natural light. I've got my earbuds in instead of just using a regular built-in mic. So we'll see how things go. So to start with this story, I want to explain a little for those of you who might not be used to the Catholic Mass. But in it, during ordinary time on Sundays, we have an Old Testament reading, a song, a New Testament reading, and the Gospel, and then later we also have what we call the prayers of the faithful, when we ask God for what we need. And so readings in the Gospel and the Psalm are part of all Masses, but it's a little different on weekdays. We only do one reading. And at certain times of the year, it might not always be Old Testament and then New Testament. There's a time where we read through Acts of the Apostles, but I might go into that in another video, or explain about like liturgical seasons, maybe some symbols from them or for them. But so my story is from the Saturday night Mass for the Sunday Mass, and I was a lector. And so the priest always reads the Gospel unless there's a deacon saying Mass, and then sometimes the deacon does. But generally, a lay minister, or more than one, does the readings and the prayers of the faithful. And sometimes the song, but often the songs are sung. And it's been different at different churches with COVID about how they're handling this. So at the parish where I'm a lector, the same person does the first and second readings and the prayers of the faithful. And then there's only one person up at the ambo and on the altar, instead of needing a couple of readers to switch or something like that. And we're still doing Masses mostly outside, so the altar is very small. Okay, so yesterday I was the lector, so I had these readings to do. And I was praying so hard before, like, please God, don't make me just think about me being nervous or me doing a good job. Make me let this be about you. Please make me meek and humble. There's a prayer I say a lot. Jesus, meek and humble of heart. Make my heart like your heart. And they always say to be careful if you pray for humility or for patience, because God just might answer your prayer and what it takes to get those. So anyway, I go and, before Mass I check and I make sure everything's there, all the readings are the right ones. I look through the prayers of the faithful and I check the microphone. And the microphone gives me a little bit of feedback, but not too bad. So I don't worry about it. I just turn it back off, go back to my seat, and wait till we process in. So then, we go through Mass, and there's the opening part of Mass before we do the readings. And everything's working just fine with the priest's microphone and the singer's microphones. And then it's my turn, and I get up, and I take the microphone, and I turn it on. And there's the feedback, and I'm, oh no. But I don't want to interrupt the Mass, or the flow of Mass, or the people who are in prayer. So I just go ahead and I read. And I'm trying to move like the little battery box closer or farther from the microphone to see if that helps while I'm reading. And even right now, I can tell you, I don't know if I read the right stuff or if I missed words or lines. Who knows? I don't know. But it was very confusing. So, well, okay, what can you do? You finish, I turn it off. I sit down while they sing the song. Then I stand back up for the second reading, and I turn on the microphone again, and the feedback is worse than ever. So I look over at the music director. She plays the music and she helps run the audio stuff, and she says, turn it off. So I turn off the microphone, and then I'm just standing up there. And I just decide, well, okay, we have to go on with Mass. So I just project in the biggest, boomingest voice I can the reading. And it's so strange and awkward. But then it gets worse because another person who has some to do with the audio decides that they can't just let me finish the reading. And they come and try to hand me a different microphone, but it's one you have to put in your ear. While I'm in the middle of reading, so I'm trying to read and project and take this microphone in my hand, and then the cord of the microphone gets stuck on this plant that's in front of the ambo. So I'm like reading, I'm trying to pick it up, it's stuck. I lose my place and try to just keep going. And then a fellow lector who was at Mass came and unhooked it for me so I could at least pull it up. But then it was too late, obviously, to use it. So I just held on to it. And it was so odd and awkward. And I didn't want to stop reading because, that's the Word of God. It's the only part that actually matters. But, oh my goodness, it must have looked crazy. And I don't know why they couldn't just wait till I was done. And then, I don't know, they were really set on this new microphone thing. So we're on this tiny little altar stage that's been set up outside. And so after the second reading, you do an Alleluia, and then there's a gospel, which the priest read, and his microphone works. And then the priest does a homily. So while he's doing the homily, up on the altar as well, the sound people come up and they're trying to talk me through how to use this new microphone. And Like the priest is like this far away from us giving the homily, and I'm in this dress, and I'm trying to, be appropriate up on the stage as I bend down to listen. Oh my goodness. So silly and funny. And so then the microphone did work well for the prayers of the faithful, so that's good. Let's drop Mickey Mouse here real quick. Felt kind of like I was in a Mickey Mouse cartoon yesterday. Anyway. And then people, were real nice afterward. And I haven't heard that I've been banned from lecturing, which I don't think any of this obviously would fall on me. It's not my stuff. But my goodness, it was very awkward to be up there and go through all that. And it's funny too, because it was windy yesterday. So I had worked hard to make sure what I wore wouldn't blow around. And it just shows you can't prepare for everything. Don't always know what's going to happen. Too funny. But it definitely was a good way to remember not to take myself too seriously. Or to think that I matter too much in any of the process. It's funny how easy it is to sort of self-focus though. Felt embarrassed all evening and still kind of feel embarrassed today. Even though I think probably of the 8 billion people in the world, I'm the only one still kind of going over this in my head. So it's been a good lesson for me. Reflection for me. But I won't lie, I still wish it hadn't happened. I hope people were still able to pray a little. It's hard to get honest feedback about situations like that because most people are nice and just want to make you feel better. And then I think a lot of people feel a little bit like I did, like maybe somehow they should have done something differently, like the sound people and all, but these things really do just happen. And it's important to be able to relax with it and roll with it. Reminder that all things are supposed to lead us to God, but just in themselves, even the best things, are only second place importance. But boy, it sure feels like it's of primary importance when you're going right through it and everyone's looking at you. It's funny too because I had lectured the morning mass, so the Saturday daily mass that same morning, through a set of circumstances. So I guess maybe if you do it often enough, you have to expect that sometimes there will be funny things that happen. If funny is the right word. Anyway, I was curious if any of you might have had a similar situation in a ministry you had, or maybe even not a ministry, maybe you work in some sort of public relations or public speaking field. I know that audio does tend to cause funny problems sometimes. Or if you've ever, been at a mass or something similar has happened. the sound. So anyway, that's my story that I wanted to share. It's the first time something like that happened to me. Though I will say on Palm Sunday, they forgot to put the microphone out. And when I got up there to read, I had to read the narrator part of the gospel. And if you're Catholic, you know what that means on Palm Sunday. We read basically the entire Passion from one of the Gospels on Palm Sunday, and the narrator has a lot of reading to do. So I projected again, and then they brought me a microphone, but that, worked out a lot more easily. It didn't get caught on any plants, so that was nice. In addition to the room tour video that I'm planning to make, I'd like to do an adoration video. Adoration is where the Eucharist is displayed and you go and pray. Individually, but there can be many people praying individually at the same time. In front of the displayed Eucharist. And it's very calming, especially in a church with wooden pews. And you'll hear some creaking of the wood. There's usually candles, and sometimes it's kind of dark. Not if it's daytime, but it'll be kind of dark, which is nice. It's just really nice for your soul to be in quiet and at peace. But I'm trying to figure out how to make the sounds right. It's too bad we don't have smell-o-vision, because the incense is a nice smell that goes with it. And then also how to make sure it's done respectfully and to honor what adoration is, not to take advantage of it or use it for any other purpose. Obviously, I won't display the real Eucharist. There are channels that do have 24/7 adoration. I think they're live streamed from adoration chapels at different parishes. But it's not really, I don't have an adoration chapel at home. And I don't want to bring a camera into church. Though I guess that would capture the sounds, right? So those are a couple of the things I'm trying to do. Maybe I should do another reading video and see if the sound goes out. These little grains are like itty bitty rocks. They give my fingers a little massage as I put the brush over them, because there's just a tiny bit of vibration. It's funny. Earlier I was thinking, maybe someone had a similar experience. But now it occurs to me that it doesn't necessarily have to be similar but I'm curious just kind of what funny stories people have from their churches. You know, when you're really involved in your church, you tend to end up spending a lot of time there doing different things. So just as part of life, silly things are kind of bound to happen. I like to hear funny stories from churches. You know, funny, nice stories. Anyway, I hope you guys are all having a very nice weekend. You're staying cool if you're in one of the places that are so hot right now. Kind of sticks to my fingers. Thank you for watching. If you're listening to my funny story, I hope it was funny. It feels nice to be able to share it. Have a restful evening or rest of your day. I look forward to talking to you again soon.